While many found the movie follow-ups disappointing, here's why Universal Studios' Jaws ride was really the best sequel. Jaws was such a landmark success there was little hesitation on Universal's part about greenlighting a sequel. Unfortunately, like the Steven Spielberg original, Jaws 2 was another troubled production, with the original director being fired a month into production and almost all of his footage being scrapped. New director Jeannot Szwarc was dropped in with a revised script, but he clashed with star Roy Scheider, who was only making the sequel to fulfill a contractual obligation. Jaws 2 is a solid, though flawed follow-up that is easily the best of the film sequels. Jaws 3D was a dull, badly written adventure that trapped a 35-foot great white in SeaWorld, and was afflicted with infamously poor special effects. The final outing Jaws, The Revenge, which has two different endings, is commonly labeled one of the worst films ever made, and while it's a little better than its reputation suggests, there's still a wide gulf in quality between it and the original. There have been no further Jaws sequels or reboot attempts since then. However, the franchise had a unique afterlife when Universal opened its own theme park in 1990. Rides were made from Universal classics like King Kong and Jaws, though the opening of the park and the reception to Jaws were far from smooth sailing. The park's opening day was somewhat disastrous, with long lines and attractions, including Jaws, that failed to function properly. The park worked through its issues though persistent problems with the Jaws attraction, such as constant shark malfunctions and effects failing to trigger, saw it shut down and almost totally reworked. Universal's Jaws ride was a perfect sequel. This retooled ride, which had numerous Jaws movie references, would go on to become a beloved attraction at Universal Studios. The concept behind the ride is that the events of the 1975 film really happened and that the movie was based around it. The attraction took viewers on a cruise around Amity Island on one of Captain Jake's Amity boat tours, but this is soon interrupted by the arrival of a great white shark that stalks and attacks the boat. The attraction is fronted by a skipper who acts as a guide and eventual savior as he fends off the shark, with help from a trusty grenade launcher, before the Great White recreates the ending of Jaws 2 and bites down on an electrical cable. Brief as the Jaws ride is, it packs a lot in, including some nice world-building. Brody is still the chief of police on Amity, for instance, and features creepy moments like floating through a dark boathouse. Jaws became a go-to ride for visitors to Universal Studios, and another Jaws attraction later opened at Universal Studios Japan. In lieu of a new movie, the ride kept the legacy of the series alive during its run, with its mix of horror and adventure capturing the spirit of the original better than the final two sequels. Sadly, the expense of operating the Jaws ride saw it shut down in 2012, and replaced with a new Harry Potter ride. The attraction is still operating in Japan, but despite the cult attraction that has built up around it and numerous fan petitions, it's unlikely Jaws, where Spielberg disliked the movie sequels, will return to Universal Studios Florida.